We are now going to examine the essence, which is the building blocks of quantitative research.
In this section, we will look at the content listed as number 2, the building blocks, which is the variable. In this lesson, you will discover the characteristics of the building block, the variable. This lesson on the building block of a quantitative research contains 5 simple steps. First, what is a variable? A variable is a characteristic, number, or quantity that can assume different values. It increases or decreases across time, or takes different values in different conditions. The opposite of a variable is called a constant, an element with a known fixed value regardless of conditions. All quantitative research rests upon observable and measurable variables. We are now going to see the observable and measurable variables that we have in our classrooms. These variables have been widely used as the critical building blocks in tons of quantitative research. Let's spend 3 minutes trying out to establish understanding of variables. First, go through each item in this slide. And, try to remember as much as you can within 2 minutes. Second, do not look at the slide. Be truthful to yourself, and third, without looking at the slide, write down as many words and numbers that you are able to remember. You've just taken a test, precisely a pop quiz. Some people may take it as research, possibly a study on recallability. If we plan it properly, it can be a useful quantitative study on student learning. To plan it as research, we should consider the following activities. 1. The topic, which could be students' recallability. 2. Justifications for the topic. We have to argue and justify what it is so important about the topic. 3. Formulate research questions. The questions should focus on the variables. 4. Provide the operational definition of the variables. The definition includes the core meaning of each variable, the context in which the variable is used, and its measurement. Let us now get back to what you have achieved in your recall activity. We are going to inspect the meaning of variables. Let's again do a self-check. Please react to the following questions. 1. How many items did you correctly recall? 2. What is your total score on this activity, maximum 20 points? 3. What is your score on the recall of words, maximum 10 points? 4. What is your score on the recall of the number, maximum 10 points? 5. How many variables do we have in this experiment? 6. How many variables that can be used for the recallability study? 7. When and how to use these variables. The recall test contains at least 3 distinct variables, which we can call the achievement of A. Total recall. B. Recall of words. C. Recall of numbers. You could even consider each word and number as a variable. This is because each item assumes 2 values, which right or wrong. It is not a constant. Value 1 for a correctly recalled item, and 0 for a wrong or missing response. In this case, there are an additional 20 variables in the study. However, we are only interested in the 3 achievement scores. Thus we can now formulate our research questions for the recallability study. Each research question contains and focuses on the variables that we have observed and measured, which are overall recallability, recall of words, and recall of numbers. The research questions. RQ1, to what extent the graduate students are able to recall words? RQ2, to what extent the graduate students are able to recall numbers? RQ3, is the ability to recall words related to recall of numbers? assuming that we have also the information about students' demographic characteristics, for example, age and house location, that is either rural or urban, then we can create additional research questions. RQ4, is there any relationship between the ability to recall and students' age? RQ5, is there any urban-rural divide in recallability? Be aware that research questions in a quantitative study are based on measurable observable variables. The variable should be operationalized and defined. To present the operational definition of each variable, we should describe what it means, its possible values, and how it will be measured or derived in a study. Let's reflect. Please state all the new things that you have learned in this lesson.